Hi mothers, I'm Carolina from the movement of mothers who pray for their children. Welcome to the third formation for new groups. Today we will study about our co-patroness, Saint Monica. Saint Monica was born in North Africa in 331. She was raised in a Christian environment, married Patricius, a pagan nobleman from passionate and irascible behavior, with whom she had 3 children. She lived a difficult marriage that became even more arduous after the birth of Augustine, who grew up endowed with an intelligence and restless search for the truth, which led him to seek answers and happiness outside the church, where he became involved in half-truths and many lies. As Monica was a strong, passionate, and faithful woman with a lot of faith in God, she never gave up interceding for the conversion of her family. So she was consumed with prayer for the violent, rude, pagan husband, and above all, for the eldest son, Augustine, who lived in addiction and sin. For 33 years, she interceded intensely for her child. Later, St. Augustine, who became bishop and doctor of the church, wrote, "She conceived me either in her flesh, so that I would come to the light of time, and with her heart, so that I might be born in the light of eternity." With a lot of patience, she endured all infidelity and never got upset with her husband. Therefore, she had hope that he converted and became a Christian one day because of his affectionate heart. She also knew he had a difficult temper, and because of it, she did not create any resistance to his wrath, not by words or actions. She always waited for him to calm down, showing him that he got angry without noticing, explaining his attitudes to him. So she transformed an environment that could become hell into a home more serene, compared to many others with better starting situation. She became a model for other women who did not have the same wisdom to deal with their family situations. They saw Monica as a discreet, understanding, and balanced confidant, the intelligent counselor, and enlightened in all circumstances. Even facing a thorny marriage, Monica had her roses, her children. These are the roses expected by all parents. To be able to transmit the gift of life, seeing their own image in them, seeing life continue in new beings, is an exhilarating experience, one of the few true joys experienced in this earthly life. Let us reflect. How are we running our homes? Even before many difficulties, are we managing to be in the presence of God for our family? Have we been asking God for wisdom to carry out our mission as a mother and wife? How many mothers today cry and suffer for their children, and for their husbands as well, who are lost from the way of God and turn to Saint Monica, invoking the grace of their conversion. In the Book of Confessions, St. Augustine tells us the anguish of his mother's heart, who prayed, wept, begged, and tried to find in prayer a light that lighted his way, a way out of him to leave this moral loss, and a solution to his spiritual disorientation. All of it leads us to reflect on Monica's prayerful attitude, an incessant and tearful prayer, but not a prayer of escape, because enlightened by faith, she knew God's purpose in her son's life. Monica leads us to rethink our concepts and our attitudes of prayer, as so many times we think prayer is a ready-made recipe, something mechanical. But she teaches, no, that the prayer is something to be lived. It is a lifestyle. Truly pray those who put themselves before God with humility and recognize their insignificance. For Monica, praying was talking to God, present in her life, in her heart. She didn't need fancy words or theological knowledge. The simplicity of her faith was visible because her prayer was something concrete, something that emerged from her heart. With patience and confidence, praying and crying, she led her son to God. It is clear that Monica's life is intertwined with Augustine's. The stones the Augustine found in his way are the same stones Monica used to build his spiritual temple. And although her son resisted his calling, Monica didn't abandon him. Her presence in her son's life was a constant warning because she lived the gospel intensely, and no matter how far he went, she did not give up on his salvation. She did not give up on praying for him. Let us reflect again. The charisma of the movement, restoration of families through the power of prayer. Has it really entered my heart? Do I believe and live this promise of God? Monica is a witness to us in how much power a mother's prayers has. Despite all the difficulties in her family, she did not run away from her responsibilities. She didn't close herself to God. She didn't lose her Christian identity. On the contrary, light was made in the midst of darkness, and salt that does not become tasteless, blending into food. An example of courage and hope, guaranteeing that with the grace of God, we can overcome all difficulties and achieve victory, building a true Christian family based on the gospel values. Monica shows us a family model whose love is the nourishing source in the family. Children are the fruit of mutual love amongst the couple. Monica saw her children as God's gifts and not as her property. She placed herself at the family service, trying to understand God's project for each one of them, so she could help them to carry out God's plan in the best way possible. We are unique for God, and to everyone, God has a distinct mission that is independent of our wishes, regardless of our wishes. How many mothers live with anxiety and fear with the relationship with their difficult children who follow a path contrary to God's plan? These mothers fight with all their strength, but sometimes fall into depression and despair when they realize their efforts to convert their children fail and that they always need to start over again, which sometimes can feel hopeless. Saint Monica's own trust in God and commitment made her a winner. Not by her merits, but her strength came from the Lord, who sustained her in times of suffering and pain. As a reward for the tears she shed, she saw her son's conversion and was able to depart from earthly life, telling him, "There was only one reason why I wanted to stay a little longer in this life, to see you as a Christian and a Catholic before I died." The Lord granted me that with superabundance, to the point that truly despising the whole earthly happiness, you have become His servant. Let us reflect again. Am I leading my children to God, to the Lord's will in their life, or I want my will at any cost? Monica shows us that with forgiveness, prayer, and trust in God, we will see our families restored. Do I still need to forgive? Am I learning to pray in the presence of God and trusting that the impossible, if it is God's will, it will be done? Thank you for studying with me. See you at the next formation. God bless us. Our Lady of La Salette, Mother of Reconciliation, pray for us.